Hey, okay, I want to talk about divine feminine authority and what it means. I was just walking home from the gym, which I'm still doing, and I saw a man walking ahead of me, just walking, and he had two dogs, one small dog and one big dog, both male dogs, and we were walking on a part of the road where the road got narrow and the sidewalk got really, really narrow, and this guy had his two dogs off leash. And so I thought, oh, I was tiptoeing because I didn't want the dogs to run into the street, but the man was walking ahead on his phone with so much confidence and trust in his dogs. I thought, he knows what he's doing. So I caught up to him and I said, how do you teach your dogs to stay on the sidewalk when there are all these cars passing and they're stopping? He's going, doing his things, and the dogs are doing their thing behind him. And we were talking a little bit, and he's like, yeah, from a very young age, you have to really train them. And I said, okay, yeah, I have a dog. I was telling him about Apollo. And saying, yeah, my dog is 6 months old. And he's like, yeah, we've met before. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I had seen him on the path outside of my house. And again, his dogs were really well behaved. So we were talking, and he says, the thing that you have to remember with dogs is that you have to always be the authority. You have to always be the leader. And he says, women don't have such an easy time with this. Now, don't go getting your panties in a bunch, because on one hand, he's right. In our society, and really around the world, women are not taught and allowed to lead without being shut down for it. And those of us, or those of them who do lead, are often called negative names, like you're called a bitch, or you're too hard, or you're yelling, or whatever. It's somehow made not okay when we are acting in authority. So I remember as a little girl, I had a very strong personality, but all the girls with the softer personalities got more male attention. They got more sweetness directed toward them. They got more gifts, things like that were offered toward them. Really, though, it was more praise and extension of kindnesses. Whereas me, who was a bit more of a tomboy, more aggressive with my speech, walking up to somebody and sticking out my hand and shaking hands with authority, I was told that I am, bossy and, the world according to, you. And all these kind of things, when I was very young, made me shut down my authority and try to soften my approach. You win more flies with honey than with vinegar. Well, I wouldn't say that I had a vinegary personality, but I did, when I was younger, have a natural sense of knowing what I wanted and simply going for it. It's the shaming that goes along with that type of natural authority that happens in girls that makes it really hard to know when you're young and you're wanting to belong in a society, when you're wanting to have male attention, when you're wanting to not ruffle feathers. You get tired of being told, put down, and your parents strong arm you because you have your authority. They don't know how to shape your authority. Instead, they beat it down. And I just have the feeling that if I were a boy and I were like this, things would have been very different for me. People would have talked to me differently. People would have had different expectations, and I would have developed in a different way. So when this man said this, I was not offended at all. It made perfectly good sense to me, because when I was in Greece, I got my dog, Apollo. I found him. I decided to take him. Boom, he's my dog. Well, one of the things that happens with a dog is he has a natural instinct to lead. And dogs, when they get into a pack, their natural instinct to lead comes forward, and nobody calls them bad names because they have a natural instinct to lead. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy dog. You automatically just assert what your natural role is. You assert it. And the way you learn your role in the pack is not by somebody denigrating you or insulting you and telling you that you're bad, but rather your authority bumps up against another authority, and that will help you know where your boundaries are. Now, in a pack, the strongest leader is going to assert themselves. And when you get a dog, you are essentially forming a pack with your dog. Now, for me, being the woman that I am, my natural way of being single, having, I don't need to be anywhere at any particular time. Like, my whole day is spent going according to how I feel. It's very intuitive, it's very feeling oriented, it's very feminine, it's very curvy. I wasn't at the time. Before I got Apollo, I had no set schedule. I'd get up when I wanted, I'd eat when I wanted, I'd go to the gym if I wanted, I'd do work when I wanted, I'd write when I wanted, I'd do clients. I had clients booked at certain times, but those times were even at different points of the day. Sometimes they're at 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes they're at 10 o'clock at night. And that was perfectly fine for me. Well, dogs really appreciate routine. And if you are living a life of total freedom where you just go with the flow, your dog is going to come in and go with the flow too, but he's going to go with his flow. So when I got Apollo, what I found was that the two of us would be walking down the street, and he'd be going in his direction and I'd be going in mine. And when I called him, sometimes he would come and sometimes he wouldn't. And we were totally connected. He never went far away from me. But you have to train a dog. When you say come, your dog must come. If there's ever danger that your dog doesn't sense, you have to take responsibility. So you need your dog to be really well trained. And it's not enough just that you all are connected at the heart. You have to have somebody who's a leader of the pack. You can't be equal leaders, I want to go home, dog wants to stay, okay, are we going to negotiate? No, somebody has to be the leader, and that leader has to be me if we're going to have any kind of real happiness and real success in our relationship. So it was really great talking to this guy because he had seen me with my dog. He had seen me, and he already recognized what was going on. He had seen us at the dog park hanging out, in the weeks before, and he saw it, and he called it, and it was really great. And so he basically said, in order to tame your dog, you have to really be in your authority and lead at all times and establish a really solid foundation of rules and ground rules. Great. So I know that I'm working on it. Like every day Apollo and I go out, we are constantly working on getting our, me establishing authority, a kind authority, not a vicious, mean authority. Like my mom was an authority in my life, but she took her authority by belittling me, making me small, insulting me, calling me stupid, telling me I was worthless and I had to, earn my right to be at home, etc., etc. Well, this is not the type of thing that you want to do with an animal, of course. I mean, you don't want to do that with anybody. You don't need to do that with anybody. Instead, you still need to be in your authority, but you need to maintain the confidence and the dignity of the person with whom you're leading. So with my dog, it's really important that I don't, for me, it's really important that I be in authority, I be the leader, and he follows me and always does what I say, but I also have to help him be confident. I love that he loves people and he loves dogs and that he can walk into a new space with confidence, trusting that he's capable and that the world is a safe place. But I got to do that without taking away his dignity and without, beating him down. So this is the thing that I'm learning. And it's so great for me having Apollo, because it's making me also see inside myself where I have two different ways of being. When I'm at work, I'm highly authoritative and a leader. I know what it is I want, blah, blah, blah. But in my own emotional self, there's a lot of waywardness. There's still a part of me that needs to be trained. And I know that this is why Spirit sent me the dog, because as soon as I got Apollo, I started getting really aware of what it means to be an authority, what authority is, how to nurture it, and how to bring it out in myself and in him. All right, so I think that's enough chit-chat for now. But boy, what a great eye-opening conversation I had with a man, by the way, who was very handsome. I'm just saying that things are looking up. All right, signing off. I gotta go home and get my dog out of his crate. My dog is so well trained. Excellent track record for housebreaking. Never pooped or peed in the house. Dog is on fire. He's awesome. That's good training on my part as well. I think I'm a good mom. All right, keep on wishing me luck. Hey, knock wood that, and there's so much wood here. Thank you. Knock wood that we keep up our healthy training and develop our relationship keeps developing in this beautiful, lovely way that it has. All right, signing off. Bye for now.